Cheers, everybody. Happy Wine Wednesday. I am super stoked to be hosting these two guys today. They're actually from around this area. So I'm in downtown Napa, and I'm tuned in from the Jam Cellars wine and music studio. And then we have a couple of other wine country people here. We got two musicians. Are you guys tuning in from Santa Rosa today?
Actually, Petaluma.
Petaluma. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Well, okay, we've got Billy and we've got Alex here today. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
How are you, Sam?
I'm doing great, thank you. Here, let's cheers, and we'll kick this thing off.
Cheers.
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 All right, so we've got the two of you. Oh, it is. You got the butter.
Oh, yeah.
Le butter.
There you go.
Oh, heck yes.
Yep.
I've got some right here behind me. I have this like big tower. I don't know if you can see.
A tower of butter.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Stacks and
Plenty
stacks
to
of butter.
All right, you guys. So, what song are we going to be hearing first today?
This song is called Across the Headlights. And it's a typical freeway song. Driving in your car and thinking about your girl.
There we go. You guys ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
She lived over the highway, barely alive, waiting on the next big thing to come. I pulled into the driveway as the daddy screaming, we were singing at the top of our lungs. Take me out across the headlights, take me far beyond the shadow of that western sun. Take me out across the headlights to a place where I've never been, a place where we can finally call our own. Hey, Dustin. Now I'm out here on the turnpike, 'cause you can't pay rent with teenage dreams and rambling wheels alone. So I speed on past my exit as I hear her calling out my name. Come over and pick me up. Take me out across the take me far beyond the shadow of that western sun. Take me out across the line to a place where I've never been, a place where we can finally call our own. Hey. Port of no return, there's no need to fear. She comes in close, whispering and take me out across the take me far beyond the shadow of that western sun. Take me out across the line to a place where I've never been, All
Thank
right.
you, Billy. Thanks, Alex.
Yeah,
And-
thank you.
Thank you.
So was that off your latest release, which was like pre-pandemic at the beginning of the year?
That's right. Yeah, that's off an EP called "Take the Ride" that we put out last sometime later last year. Maybe it was No, sorry, probably about a year from now.
Yeah,
January.
early last year.
Yeah, early 2020 is when we put it out.
Yep.
So how is like your creative process and just I guess general inspiration as artists kind of evolved and had to adapt over the past year or so compared to earlier years when we weren't hit with these crazy things in addition to the other crazy elements of life?
Yeah. Well, I'd be happy to kind of talk about I guess like what we how we write songs together and stuff like that, and then
Yeah.
we can get into how it's changed and
Yeah, how it is now.
Yeah, how it is now.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, when Billy and I write together, it comes in a lot of different ways, and it can either be an idea from that Billy's fleshed out quite a bit. It can be an idea that I've fleshed out quite a bit, and usually we just bring it to each other, and we can hit the ground running with some inspiration already in motion and some stuff like already of substance there. And then there's often times where we sit down in a room and we just like come up with something from scratch, which is also really fun. And it's a little bit more like open-ended and just a totally different experience. But it comes in a lot of different ways, and we're always trying to be receptive to however it comes.
Yeah, just being open to all the different inspirations. But we used to take all of that, and then we used to play it live and get a vibe kind of from the room and from the people in the room. And usually we'd try out a whole bunch of songs, and then based on the reaction, we'll change stuff here, and a lot of our songs were geared towards playing a live show. Like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we dropped out here and then we come in with the full band, and then that would be really awesome. But so that was kind of like that's been our bedrock. Now since we don't have that. It's definitely been a lot more of us learning how to do production on our own. So then we get together and we have ideas, and then we put them in Logic or Pro Tools or whatever, and then try them out, listen to them, and then kind of work it that way. So it's definitely been different, but it's kind of been a good challenge.
Yeah.
And I'd say the biggest difference is probably kind of like Billy said, between the two ways that we had been doing things. I think we're writing in a similar way, but it's kind of about the arrangements that come together for a recording process. Like, we're, like Billy said, we're used to in the past playing these songs and listening to them back while playing them, whether it be
Right.
for an audience or like in rehearsals over and over and over again. And that's how we get them fine-tuned. Whereas now it's been purely listening and not playing them. So it's like, it's a little bit more of like a distant relationship in that sense, that we're not continuously playing these songs while we're getting them album ready.
Mm-hmm.
And it's different. It's also different because, I think like, I think that a lot of artists, I mean, me for sure, it's really hard to find inspiration in a time that seems so dark. And I know that a lot of artists also like really get off on that, and like it's a really great, it's as bad as these times have been, like I think a lot of artists thrive on that kind of angst and that kind of unknown and dark times like that, I guess. But I personally find it like pretty hard to draw inspiration when there's gloomy prospects on the horizon, and you're not doing what you feel you are meant to be doing or should be doing or whatever.
Right.
So it's different in a lot of ways for sure.
Well, I mean, just from the audience sort of side of things, we so much appreciate like you guys, Kingsborough, you putting out music and continuing to do live streams like this, and just like keeping on, because I mean, music is music and wine. They're some of the best outlets in terms of feeling like you aren't alone. Even when you know everyone else in the world right now is amidst this pandemic, it can feel really lonely, especially since we are distancing. So just like having that among so many other things, you know, heartbreak and just every step along the way of life, and having music and someone singing and feeling like you can connect to that on a really personal level, it's really important. So appreciate you and all artists.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you know, we gladly played for wine pre-pandemic, and now we're playing for wine during the pandemic, and it feels right, doesn't it? You know,
Yes,
playing music, drinking wine, it just feels right.
I'll drink to that. So first song was Across the Headlights, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Across the Headlights, off of our latest EP called Take the Ride. And we recorded that entire EP to tape, which was super fun. We'd never done that before.
Oh, nice. And you said that song is kind of your classic freeway song?
Yeah, it's like, you know, it was our attempt at getting after a Bruce Springsteen-esque type of tune, you know?
Yeah.
Or like even like an LA freeway kind of thing.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. The whole time we were, you know, writing and recording this song, we were just thinking freeways, palm trees, Southern California, you know, good times. And
Heck yeah.
yeah.
So on the freeway, a truck, it spilled, like, it had this massive amount of cargo of strawberries that it was pulling from this fresh field. And then all the strawberries, they spilled out, and the truck crashed, and then all the cars behind it started running over the strawberries. Caused quite the traffic jam.
Yes! Oh, yes! That's a good one.
You're
That's a
like,
good
what
one.
the hell is this girl talking about?
Like, speaking of freeways,
First of many dad jokes to come.
Yes. All right.
I'm already through my first. There were dad jokes before this, so that's why I'm down at least a glass.
More to come. All right. You guys want to do a couple more songs back
Yeah,
to
we'd
back?
like to.
Yeah.
Love to, yeah.
Cool.
This is a song called "Only Light," and this is also off the Take the Ride EP. Start us off, Bill.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Roll down in the alley, alone in the dead of night. Find your mind wandering, looking for your next fight. Look into the past, leaving the truth unsaid. Mistakes, missteps, tragedy and regret. Well, you know just what you want by now. You know what you need to find. I'm here to remind you that fire ain't the only light. Speak low and slowly, I know you're not the only one. Look out at the window to the early hours of the dawn. I call and hear you crying, your troubles are stretched skin tight. Tears, they are falling, saying everything is alright. Alright. Well, you know just what you need to find. I'm here to remind you that fire ain't the only light. Broke down in an alley, alone in the dead of night, with bloodshot eyes, you're looking for your next fight. Well, you know just what you want by now. There's no price on peace of mind, even in the darkest of night. Whoa, you know just what you want by now. You know what you need to find. I'm here to remind you that fire ain't the only light.
Let's do another. Yeah?
Yeah. Not a villain, a stranger passing by, to love just once along the line. Cold heart needs a killer. She's not the violent type. Her hands across my vital sign. The sunrise, the warm eyes, let me know that I'm the man on the side. Something's missing, mind the time, the clock, where to go, when to stop or not. You won't see me again. I've heard it once or twice, too good to know, I wonder why. The sunrise, the times that bind, let me know that I'm the man on the side. before the morning. The doors are low and wide, long enough to calm the room. The more and more I spend, the more I realize this. The heart she holds is breaking, but it ain't mine. The sun lights of our kind. Let me know that I'm, oh, the sunrise, the place down where I let me know that I'm the man on the side.
Woo! Thank you, Billy and Alex. Thank you to
you.
everybody who's tuning in right now for our Wine Wednesday show. This is Jam Happy Hour with two of the guys from Kingsborough, and so far so good. You guys are killing it, and that last song was from 1544. Right?
Correct. Yes, definitely.
And what's the story behind 1544? The number? Why'd you?
Oh.
Little story time.
Yeah, story time. So 1544. So we all used to live together on the same compound on a basically a ranch. So we lived together. We wrote the entire album together on that property where we lived. We practiced, and we just hung out all the time. So we just figured that was the best title for that album.
Heck yeah.
So.
And that was 2017, right?
2017.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a
But
long time ago.
you can only live
Oh,
together
so long ago.
so long. You can only live together with people you spend that much time with for so long. So now we happily don't live together, and we get to see each other when we want to.
Exactly.
Well, you said you're on like a ranch or a farm. What's a horse's favorite wine?
Oh my, you're on fire. I don't know.
I usually give about 7 seconds.
Okay.
7 seconds?
Is it Chardonnay?
Oh,
I got it!
yeah.
All right.
You're literally one of the only people that has ever gotten any of my jokes, so
Well,
very well done.
I am pretty good. So.
He,
Very well done.
You like the dad jokes. Oh my God. And we're back.
Today is also, speaking of animals, it's National Rubber Ducky Day. And what kind of music does a
hold on,
rubber
hold
duck
on.
listen to?
First of all, we have to clarify, is a rubber duck an animal or is it?
It's a concept of one
Wow.
in rubber form.
Wow. That was like rehearsed. That was very
No,
good.
that
That was
actually
a good
wasn't. It's the
retort.
wine.
It's flowing out of me. Dad jokes and comebacks. Okay, wow.
What kind of music would a rubber duck listen to if given the opportunity, do you
I
think?
don't have any guesses for this one.
It's got to have something to do with squeaks, but I don't know. Right?
All right, 7 seconds.
7
Go ahead.
seconds.
Rub-a-dub-step.
Yeah, I
Oh,
would
it's
guess
so
that one.
stupid.
But I've never gotten that.
The more you
No.
drink, the easier it gets. So I'm not just
It's
forcing
flowing.
you to drink. It just makes it easier on you.
It helps when you have a Jam Cellars butter shard. Goes down smooth every time.
Every time.
With every dad joke.
And speaking of jam wine, if you are near your computer or I guess you're either on your phone or your computer right now watching, but you can head over to the link that's posted below, jamcellars.com/buy, and we have a handy dandy wine finder, which basically is just you typing in a zip code, your local one, and then you find all the stores nearby that host our products. Or we also offer delivery in terms of shipping through the website. And then there's the Drizzly app, which is super cool. Have you guys used that before?
What?
No.
Drizzly?
You mean I don't have to get up off my fat ass to get hammered drunk?
Yeah, so it's okay. Think about this: like when you're hungover in the morning, and
Yeah.
you don't want to show your face in public at all, and you just don't think you can go out into the sunlight.
That happens a lot.
You can get your wine delivered to the front door. Your mimosa fixings, they've got you, and
bad.
they bring it to you in an hour
In an
or
hour?
less. Yeah,
Wow.
Or it's free.
that would be nice.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
So just in case you go through all of your stash like the night before and you need to re-up. Wow.
I used
we
it
live
the
it-
day after New Year's, so
We live in a beautiful time.
I know.
If it wasn't for like all the other shit,
If
then
it wasn't for the terrible
if
things
it
that are
wasn't for the
happening,
terrible shit,
we'd live
then
in a
we live in a
wonderful time.
beautiful, beautiful time.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do they have, like, in Europe or other countries, do they have these things, the delivery services?
That's a really good question.
Did you-
We
Never
never
thought-
stayed in a place long enough to be able to like really sink in and do
Yeah.
those kinds of things, like order wine
Yeah.
overnight to our Airbnb or something.
Like, I feel like
That would
that's
be-
just an American thing.
It sounds
Like, I
very
need it
American.
now.
It sounds
Yeah.
super American. Yeah, I need it now. And there's somebody who's willing to
To take
accept
it to you.
money for you to get it now.
We were always also in a place where we could just walk to wherever we needed to go.
That's true.
Yeah.
So like,
And
if
it
we
was
were
always
hungry-
like we wanted to. I mean, like if we're on tour, or I mean, if we're in Europe in general, you know, we want every excuse to get out of the Airbnb or wherever, or
Yeah.
the hotel,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
wherever we're staying. So, yeah, that's another. I guess another. reason
and
why we
and
didn't
when it comes
explore
to
those
drinks,
options.
and when it comes to drinks, you know, being in a band, people just give that to you anyways. So
Fair enough.
if you play
Well,
well,
if you play well, they
well.
take it all away if
so,
you suck.
So we get it like a third of the time.
Yeah.
Maybe a
We have
quar-
to we
maybe
have
a
to we have to
quarter of the time.
hoard our booze the nights that we do get it, and then that way that way we're not left with the nights that we get it taken away.
Well, so you guys were, I know you were in Europe this year, and we'll get to that, but you were also in Europe in, like, the fall or winter of 2018? You did,
Yes.
like, was it called the Maiden Voyage?
The Maiden Voyage tour, because we had never been to Europe, so it was
As a
Maiden
band, yeah.
Voyage. As a band, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys went to 7 countries, so which was the most memorable? You can each answer,
Do you have one
because
on the top
they
of
might
your
be
head?
different.
Oh, I have one. I do
okay.
have one. It's
Show wise or like just in general?
Whichever.
I think in general our answer is probably going to be the same.
Prague
Yeah.
Okay.
city.
Oh, I
obviously.
love Prague.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was incredible. We
So
had
cheap,
two,
too.
Yeah, we had 2 nights off in Prague.
Oh,
It was awesome.
It's literally cheaper to, like, drink the Pilsner there than to order water at a restaurant.
Actually,
Correct.
yeah, I
Yeah, it
think that
is.
is true. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's like $1 for a huge thing of beer, and then like
Totally.
$3
We
for
did
a
feel
water.
like kings, and
Yeah.
that kind of beer, that kind of, you know, like not super heavy, like, you know, like German or Czech style
Yeah.
beer is like, it's like my absolute favorite.
Mhm. Same.
And
Always.
so I think like there was a spot that was probably a 5-minute walk for where we were staying, and we were only there for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we went there at least 3 times, and we, you know, went like, you could sit down outside and order, sit down outside. Remember when you didn't have to sit outside? Remember
Yeah,
when,
right.
Remember when
Remember
you could
when
go
it
to
was a, it was
restaurants? Remember
it was a
restaurants for
treat.
people?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we would order those rounds of beer, and then like, and for you know, it'd be dirt cheap, and then we'd get these I don't even know what you call it. It was like, you know, you see like those you know, the pigs roasted on a stick,
It
and
was a skewer.
yeah, it was like a skewer,
Yeah.
like a skewer of just like pork shoulder
Yeah.
that you could order. Also dirt cheap.
So good.
Yeah, it was really
Yep.
it was really messed up good.
Yeah.
that was really memorable.
Yeah.
Were you guys staying in like the Old Town Square area, or
Yeah.
just across the river from there. Yeah.
Oh, I love that place. I was supposed to go there, like literally the day all the shutdown stuff happened, like mid-March. It was the day before I was supposed to go on like an 11-day Europe trip with my cousins because she was like in London studying. So now I have like a lot of people are in the same boat, like so many funds and like things that you got refunded, but it's actually just a credit to like go do it.
Wow, that's
So
crazy.
you can just go
So-
whenever. Well,
Yeah,
not
so we're
whenever.
all like, when things get back to normal, we're gonna have a great trip. But in the meantime,
In the meantime,
I wish you well. Yeah.
you have butter wine.
yes, exactly. And we can pretend we're in Prague if we get
Exactly.
tipsy enough.
Yes. Yeah. Order some Pilsner and some absinthe, and we're about there.
You're halfway there. Yeah, you're
Well,
halfway
what
there.
happened? Because you guys were over in Europe like right when the pandemic struck. You were like supposed to be doing this full tour. So what happened with that?
Yeah, so we had gotten about halfway through our tour. We were in Denmark, and things were starting to like shut down. And our first show in Denmark was like really slim because Europe obviously shut down before the United States.
And what was going on was like as soon as we knew before we left for Europe that this was becoming an issue. It was like it seemed like it was still in its infancy at that point, and so when we got over there, people were like aware, of it, but it wasn't until probably like 10 shows in that we started to, or 8 shows in rather, that we saw, like real fear, where like we had played shows, the first 8 or so were really well attended. People were down to talk after the show at at the merch booth and stuff like that, and
We had our first sellout in Europe.
yeah, we
Yeah.
had our first sellout in Europe over there.
Yeah, it
at
was
that time.
awesome.
In Denmark or?
In Belgium.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah, in Belgium. It was incredible.
yeah. Leffinge.
Leffinge.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so when we got to Denmark, we saw a complete 180 where nobody was coming out. I think the show that we played in like the 300 person capacity club that we were playing, I think there were like 8 people there. And the club owner had told
my
us
gosh.
before the show,
he's like-
nobody's going to come because people are really starting to get worried here.
Yeah.
It's getting real in this area.
Yeah.
And sure enough, the next day we played another show in Denmark as well, and it was the same story.
And then
Less than
as
10 people there, and then we got off stage.
as basically as we were playing, the Prime Minister of Denmark or whatever
Prime
had
Minister.
basically shut the schools down, and starting the next day they were shutting down bars. So anything under, I think it was 100 people, or over 100 people. So capacity, and so everything was closing down. So we talked to the owner, and then it was like on the on the line, like he's like, I'm fucked. This is crazy. We were just like, oh my God, what do we do? So I drank a couple beers, and then we stayed up a little bit, kind of watching the news, and at like 3 o'clock in the morning, 3 or 4 in the morning, that's when President Trump issued his pseudo travel ban or whatever. He did his big announcement, we're shutting down all the borders and all that stuff. And we were like,
So
okay.
we were thinking for the next 5 hours basically after that, like, oh great, we're refugees in a pandemic.
Yeah.
And then he came out and said like, oh, if you're an American citizen, you can travel back in.
Psych.
Yeah, gotcha. And then
You're like,
And
well, maybe I will stay here.
Yeah,
Over
yeah.
here in
oh, trust
Belgium.
me, that was
That was on the table.
We were definitely talking about that with wishful thinking.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we had to drive. The only flight we could find was out of
Hamburg.
Hamburg, Germany. So we had to drive from Denmark down to Germany, and then
10 or 12 hour drive.
10 or
Jeez,
12 hour
yeah.
drive, and then we flew from Hamburg to Istanbul. Had a layover in Istanbul, and then from Istanbul to SFO.
Direct Istanbul to SFO. So if you're looking at a map, or if you're familiar at all with like that region, Istanbul is like 3 hours east.
Yeah.
Flying from Germany, right? And so we did a 3-hour flight,
And
got
then
to Istanbul, and navigated through that airport, which was a really interesting experience
It
in
was
itself.
nuts.
And then
That happened to my friend. Like, we basically it was, I think, like Ryanair. It was one of the like shittier, cheaper budget airlines, and they like just booted us out of the flight, but we'd already paid for like the Airbnb, and we had our friends already there waiting for us. So we're like trying to find any other flights, and so he ended up, there were like no seats left for some reason, and he ended up with a flight that had a like 12-hour layover in Istanbul, and then I got the direct one, like just by chance. Like,
Oh
we
my
didn't
gosh.
Rochambeau or anything. But yeah, he said it was just like he had to get when he was leaving the airport because he needed to go to bed somewhere. He had to like get the full visa and just
Whoa.
just a very
crazy.
very unique situation. So
That's
It was,
crazy.
It was really intense. Like, there were like beggars and hustlers and like past security. And like we went
Yeah.
through like 3 things of security. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah, it was
This
a lot
is-
of security.
This
in that
is
airport.
insane. Yeah.
And then to boot, it was, after that 10-hour drive, the day before from Denmark to Germany,
Yep.
and then the 3-hour flight early that morning,
Yep.
3 hours farther away from where we were trying to go. It was a 15-hour, I think, direct flight to SFO, which was we had a lot of time to think about our problems.
Yeah.
did you
It
guys
was-
switch off driving, or was it-
We have a tour manager over there.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Thankfully.
There you go.
Thankfully. Phil. If Phil's watching, we love you, buddy.
Hey, cheers
Yeah.
to Phil.
Cheers to
Yeah.
Phil. Philip Shabor.
Cheers to you
man.
guys. Thank you.
Our favorite
He
Belgian.
he kept us alive when no one else would. Basically out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and shout out to like, you guys are in wine country too, so shout out to like all the local restaurants, local Bay Area musicians. Right now is the time to really, if you're able to contribute in terms of finances, to do everything local or support your musicians. And so I think there's a link. Yeah. So if you're
Oh,
feeling
yeah.
tipsy on this fine Wine Wednesday, you can venture over to paypal.me/Kingsborough Music and drop $1 or $2 or what have you in their virtual tip jar. And if you're enjoying the music and you want to contribute in a different way, you can always, do you guys have merch?
We have merch. We have T-shirts. We have vinyl records of our album 1544. What else we got? We have CDs. If you're into that thing, I know it's slowly becoming a dying breed, but
Obsolete, yeah.
yeah. And again, T-shirts, vinyl, CDs, bottle openers, because we like to drink too.
All right. So you guys have been amazing. I think it's time for a little more music. What do you think?
Agree? Yeah.
That sounds great.
Cool.
Do a little tuning check real quick.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Cool.
Crash landed in California. I had no other place to go. Thrown outside the back of the barn in southern Arizona. I had no other place to go. Streets were mean, but his mind was meaner. Down to nothing, he called home. Same damn lies every night in the shadows he was walking. I had no other place to go. I suppose it's an open invitation to hear the road and watch this all unfold. I suppose it's our only chance to take it. 'Cause if you never do, you never know. Stranded for a moment, a fresh new smile came through the double doors. Thrown outside the back of the bar like a couple wild horses. Let's see how far they can go. Let's see how far they can go. I suppose it's an open invitation to hear the road and watch this all unfold. I suppose it's our only chance to take it. 'Cause if you never do, you never know. Yeah. You're never gonna know until you take it. You're never gonna know what you leave behind. You're never gonna know if you're gonna make it. You're never gonna know till you take the ride. I suppose it's an open invitation to hear the road and watch this all unfold. To bury the bones of old and the secrets untold. 'Cause if you never do, you never know. I suppose it's an open invitation to hear the road and watch it all unfold. I suppose it's our only chance to take it. 'Cause if you never do, you never know.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
And that was Open Invitation off your EP, Take the Ride.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. And
The-
okay, so you also didn't you just release? I know there's the music video out for Jailbreak.
Yes.
Lockdown sessions.
Yeah, so obviously we got a little bored. So we started messing around with, we're starting to learn, like a lot of musicians, learn how to produce, learn how to mix, all that stuff. So so we wanted to do Jailbreak, and we said, screw it, let's just release it, do a fun little video. And and if people like that, we're working on some more. So if you guys like the Jailbreak videos, then we're going to be creating a lot more in the future. So things to look forward to.
Totally. We're basically just doing all we can to do stuff in this time that we can do ourselves. And
There's only so much like sourdough bread and whatever other hobbies
whatever
were at
other
the beginning
weird,
of the pandemic
trendy-
you can do.
Yeah, exactly.
Kneading sourdough bread.
Yes.
Why did that? What was like the reasoning behind everyone just jumping on that? at the beginning of the pandemic.
That was really that
It was
an interesting
sourdough
one.
specifically.
Well, sourdough has the least amount of gluten, so that's probably why it's super healthy.
I think so
don't know.
because it's like it. I have no idea like how it's done, but from what I understand, you need like a sourdough starter, which is like I think it's like a live being, kind of like a kombucha mother.
You know?
I don't
you
know.
know about
I
this.
don't
This
know for sure.
terminology.
Wow.
Like I need to like.
It makes sense.
I need to like just make sure everyone knows I don't know at
I'm-
all. I think this is. What
I'm
it
in.
is.
I'm like,
All right,
tell me
buckle up.
more.
Buckle up, buddy.
You could say like
I know,
like,
I-
anything. I'm believing you. That's I'm like this dude is an expert
Sourdough
on sourdough
starters.
starters.
Come from the Roman Empire, and no, but I think it's like that. I think it's I think it's like a living kind of culture, like like kombucha. I could be way off again, but I think that's how like it's a living thing, and that's like why sourdough tastes the way it does. It's why it's like a unique process of baking bread, I think. And if anyone says I'm wrong, says so, just
Put it in the
I feel like
comments.
people are gonna
Put
get
it in the
heated.
comments. Yeah,
I
you
hope
just
you're-
started
you're-
I hope so. I don't
social
care, 'cause
media
I
war.
can't see the comments,
Yeah.
so have at them.
I feel like you said that very matter of factly. I don't know if it's the jumper or the what is it called, the rompim?
A romp
guess-
him.
It
No,
feels-
definitely
but no, 'cause
jumper.
it has long. Yeah, never mind.
It's a
I think it's just a jumpsuit.
It's a jumpsuit. The Beastie Boys wore them.
When I bought it, it said jumpsuit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it can't be a romp him because the Beastie Boys would never, ever wear a romp him.
No. No,
it's
I
a
don't think
it's a
yeah.
jumpsuit,
No.
right?
Yeah, it's a jumpsuit. Yeah, it's more dignified.
Yes. it's more dignified. It's meant for being under a car.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to borrow some like oil grease to
Yeah.
rub on
Yeah,
your,
yeah.
the bottom of your car.
Good luck.
So for everyone watching, we're nearing the end of the hour, unfortunately, but we do these happy hours, the Jam Happy Hour, 3 times a week, and so make sure that you tune in to tomorrow's show and Friday's show, and then definitely check out. Do you guys are you active on Instagram, or where can they check you out?
Instagram. Oh, there you go. Kingsborough Band on Instagram and Kingsborough.band on Facebook. Oh no, Kingsborough Band on Facebook, Kingsborough.band on Instagram. So
There we go.
if you just search Kingsborough Band, you'll find our lovely faces and pick the one that has it.
And
yeah.
yeah, so music, all your music needs, check them out on your socials, on your major media platforms. And then when it comes to wine, if you're in need of a replenishing, then you can go ahead and refuel that supply at home by going to jamcellars.com/buy. You can get it delivered and shipped to your door straight from us, or you can find these stores in your area that host our products.
Or by Drizzly.
Yeah.
Drizzly
One
app.
Z
Yeah.
LY.
Or you can call Sam the Jam directly.
Yep. Sam at Jam here.
Sam at Jam.
Yeah, because you don't want to end up like me. My sparkling bottle is starting to get low.
Are you low?
Well, kind
I
of.
wish I could. Yeah.
Transfer over.
Yeah, right?
Well, why is an empty sparkling wine bottle like an orphan?
Thinking.
Well, because it has no parents.
Because
Why?
it lost its pops.
Oh! That was actually a really good one. I like that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers, you guys.
Cheers.
I got to refill. That's ridiculous.
I know we only have about 10 minutes left, so I figure I think you have 2 songs from 1544, right?
We do.
All right. If you want to
Yeah.
just do them back to back, and then
Back
we'll
to
say
back
our
and
final
close us
goodbyes
out.
at the end.
Uh-huh.
That
Yeah.
sounds great.
Cool.
The song's called Wild Ones. static and stoic, like the blood in my veins. I get pushed back and pulled through, then come round again. Never wanted to hold on, never needed to. After seeing what comes along when people do, stuck between battle lines that change their rules. Never wanted to hold on till I found you. Whoa, we're the wild ones, the hard to hold. Came and running in circles till I begged you to stand. Realize there's a beast that's afraid like I am. Weathered hard, cracked and wide like a canyon. Stretch your fingers out, your hand is mine. We're the wild ones, the hard to hold. We're the wild ones, you're my wild world. Settle down or you're suffering. Do no good no more. Think about the wild, there's a burning inside that never lasts too long. We're the wild ones, the hard to hold. We're the wild ones, you're my wild world. We're the wild ones, the hard to hold. We're the wild ones, you're my wild world. All right, low down, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me some coffee or tea, 'cause I'm tired of this place. Or something stronger if I have to get up again. Worries and dreams are the same, I'll slip away amongst liars and thieves, forgotten in the penitent. Oh. Begs me, she pleads me, deceives me all in around. begs the attention suspension, the voice is so loud. Burning and bursting, allergic to light and the gleam. The bloodthirsty leeches, the creatures they bait and they feed, are still locked down. And I know now, when I'm locked down on these streets, Lord, I don't feel so alone. Push me your paper, yes, are you a savior or slave? Punching, crunching, conspire, attire than a wave. Wake ups and downers and drowning while counting the days. Bask in the title, surrounded by storm-barred names. I'll stay alone down, and I know now, when I'm alone down on these streets, Lord, I don't feel so alone. And on these streets, Lord, I don't feel so alone. Sam the Jam, host. Thank you so much.
We got Kingsborough here. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure hosting you. Thank you for keeping up with the jokes and keeping up with the drinking that coincides with them.
It's our pleasure.
We can always do that.
And for everyone watching at home, at least on the West Coast, now it's officially wine o'clock. It's 5 o'clock over here, and that means you don't have to feel bad about pouring yourself another glass once this ends and checking out more of Kingsborough's music. So with that being said, cheers to everybody. Hope the rest of your week goes swimmingly. Thank you guys.
Thank
you.
you so
Thanks for
much
tuning
having
in,
us.